Hi guys, I'm using this microphone because we've got an air conditioning system going and it's making some noise and it's really hot. We're in the Philippines, and the reason I'm doing this little video here, I've asked Seth and his wife, the Miller family, and their little beautiful children here, if they would be willing to do this. I'm just sharing how, well, I didn't plan this out at all, so I have no idea what I'm going to say, but I want to share with you. Look at this website up here really quick before it goes off again. Adventist Frontier Missions, AFM, is what we know that normally by. I've just had divine appointments. I've met people many times in the most interesting places, and when I share this with people, for me it's phenomenal, it's fantastic, it's incredible, it's like God is right here doing things, He's interacting with me personally, and it's so encouraging to me and so heart-touching. It's just, you know, it's like saying, son, you're on the right track. You know, not that I'm wanting applause or that I'm perfect, but sometimes we get discouraged. Sometimes we wonder, what am I doing in the Philippines? What am I doing here? You know, and then I run across, I come face to face with someone and something happens, and this has happened over and over in my life. And sometimes it's 10 years or 20, sometimes it's a long time before I even really understand, like, why did I run into them? Well, obviously, maybe I encouraged them, they encouraged me. There's a blessing in friendship and just coming in contact. When you're in a country of millions of people and you run into another American, it's exciting when you find out they're of the same faith, they're a missionary, they're, you know, here for similar reasons. I had, for example, you may have seen it on YouTube, experience. Lucelle and I are in that little restaurant there, Counselor Cafe, and there's another American, and, you know, other Filipinos are like, there's American, you know, and the Americans are going to talk, because in America, if there's a Filipino and a Filipino, they just have to talk to each other. I'm like, I'm not going to talk to him. Just because he's an American, I'm not going to talk to him. But after a little bit, I'm like, you know, it's like the Holy Spirit is just pushing me a little, encouraging me. Okay, hey guy, how are you doing? So, American or Russian? I'm American, yeah. Well, it turns out he's from Africa, amazing facts, and turned out his last name is Jenkins. When I gave him my card, turns out he's one of my relatives that I never met, and he's from from Amazing Facts, and he's here as a missionary, and he's got a Filipino wife that looks kind of like my wife, and yeah, we had a lot of things in common, and we really enjoyed talking and fellowshipping, and he's headed up north, and I said, did you meet the Miller family? They're here too. And so he said, we just arrived. So, interestingly enough, his wife's Filipina, born in America, doesn't speak Tagalog, but he was saying, well, we have a lot in common. Look at you, have a wife in Philippines. Like, well, she's from here, she speaks, you know, you could tell the differences of personalities between a Filipino born in the U.S. and a Filipino born here. You know, obviously it's an American. So anyway, guys, that's kind of the gist of this. Ferd's here. He's wondering, what's his part? Why is he having a microphone here?
Yeah, why I have a microphone?
Because we're in the Philippines, and you're gonna, if I tell you to say something in Tagalog, I want you to say it, okay?
Sure.
And my wife is going to let me know when we're at 20 minutes. The battery might die, the SD card might run out or something like that. But I wanted to share with my family and my friends what AFM is doing, what the missionaries are doing, and where they're going, and just ask Seth to share with us where you're going. Here, we'll do like this first.
Okay.
Tell us where you're going. You're here learning Tagalog. I know that. You've been here for several months.
Yeah.
And your children are probably learning, and you're learning. And where are you going?
Lord willing, we're headed to Palawan.
Closer there, yeah.
Yeah,
Good job.
Palawan.
Palawan. Now, I've been to Palawan. It's a beautiful island. In fact, when I went there, I thought it was like America, because there's some strict rules on not throwing garbage out. In fact, they have fines and stuff, so it was clean, and it was one of the most beautiful places I had been to the Philippines at that time, and I've been to quite a few places since, and I haven't been back for quite a few years. But I've always wanted to go to Brooks Point because it's the farthest, well, it's not clear to the tip, but it's kind of the last frontier, they call it, of the Philippines, and it's beautiful. you know, have you gone on Google Earth and zoomed in and looked at the white sand there and the sandbars and all that stuff?
Yeah, we've done that. Our son especially is fond of the beach, and he's done that a lot, zoomed in on the beach. Yeah,
yeah, because I'm into boats. You know, this is a country of 7,000 plus islands to me. You know, being a person that's into boats, the only thing that makes a lot of sense to get around is a boat, right? You know?
Yeah.
But a lot of times they use buses and ferries to get back and forth to the islands, and motorcycles and stuff like that. But to me, most people live around the water's edge, and Brooks Point is on the water's edge, and boats are key, I believe, to getting the gospel out. I want to come and visit you guys on a boat. Maybe not the little boat that I'm making, because it's kind of small for the nearer islands. But maybe we could get your wife here to tell a little bit. You had mentioned to me you were in Japan for a year, so that's a pretty modern country. Obviously Philippines is modern too, but there's a mixture of modern and pretty poor here, you know, pretty primitive.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's a mixture of it. You're in a high-rise building here, but you can see right down on the street people living on the streets, people doing all kinds of selling of you know, foods and bananas and stuff like that. So you see the culture mix. What's your experience? Can you tell me a little bit?
The difference between Japan and
Yeah,
here?
exactly.
Yeah, well, in Japan it's very different, because the people, well, there's really not very any homeless people there, but I noticed, you know, people in the street, so that's very different. And well, here in the Philippines, it's, you know, and the people are more, I think the people are more friendly here than,
Yeah, I would agree. As far as friendliness, I don't think I've been to a country where they're more friendly. Romania, the people were very friendly there. But the difference is we look like Romanians, so they don't know until we talk. And if we're just going around, you know, we've got to actually say something, and then it takes a while for the group in the area where the people are to say, hey, that person is speaking a different language, you know, they're from America. And then there's some hospitality that comes out, and they're nice. But yes, you're right. The hospitality here and the friendliness of the people. It's interesting. I always feel like, I mean, what's your name again? Ferds. No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes I don't know people's names, but I feel like they're my brother. Like, I mean, I could go to their house and not even ask to be there and just come right in and eat and sleep, and they would be very happy with that and not offended, and I wouldn't be like pushing myself. You can't do that very well in Japan or in America. You can't just go into town and say, I'm going to stay at this person's house across the street. But you can here in the Philippines. Not necessarily in Makati or some of the, you know, the bigger developed parts of the city, but I can in Manila, all over. I lived 6 months in Manila, where it's a long story, but you know, sometimes God allows us. I wanted to know how to penetrate and get in with the street people and the homeless and a certain group of poverty-stricken people in this country, in this city, people that come here for work, get stuck here, can't get back. And things happened in my life where I had a hold on me, I couldn't get out, and so I didn't want to put any money into my lifestyle or standard of living. I wanted to put it into getting out of the, you know, getting my name lifted. So I was like, I'll just live here, and I would mingle and get to know people, and they would say, you could stay here, stay here. So I was able to meet people right where they're at and see how they lived, and I could explain to them why I was here. I said I went to the airport, I couldn't fly out, someone filed something, and you know, just for the record, someone died in a hospital, I wasn't there, I didn't give enough money, I gave some money, they claimed it wasn't enough, she died of tuberculosis, so I ended up being charged with neglect and negligence and her death. Anyway, it was cleared and everything is fine, but the situation here is you have to know some of these things, and that's what happened to me. I want to ask Seth now. You have 2 children. This is something that people have said to me when I had my children are grown, but when they were with me, people would say, Steve, you really are doing too much mission work. You need to focus on your family. They're your first mission. Like, you know, I don't know. I'm not that smart, but in my brain, I think, shouldn't I practice what I preach? How do I focus on my kids as my first mission without actually doing mission work and including them in the mission work? And I see that you're doing that. You're in the mission field. You're a missionary, and your children are with you. Does it distract? Tell me kind of what's your thought on this. Is it a blessing to them? Are they growing? Are they learning things from this experience? You think it's a detriment to them or a positive thing? That's the whole question.
Yeah, by God's grace, I think it's definitely a positive thing. They're, you know, their own people that God has made with special talents and abilities. So God can use them to reach people's heart too. So we've seen them already strike up friendship with the staff at our school where we're learning Tagalog. That we wouldn't have, that I wouldn't have been able to make friends with. They've been able to make friends with. So it's neat. I don't feel it's distracting from our ministry to them. Personally, I feel it's really adding to it.
I would agree. Amen. So your son's name is?
Luke.
Luke.
I'm Luke.
You're Luke. Okay, hold the microphone because I'm going to ask you, you know, I just want to hear your perspective of this country. What do you think? Not of my little studio here, obviously it's unique in its own way, but the country, and not necessarily your place where you're staying, because that's pretty modern right now for you, but you're going to be going into the province, and you have seen the city and how things are done and a little bit different. Give us your perspective in about 1 minute.
Okay, so
Do the best you can. Are people friendly?
What do you think, Owen?
well,
Are you-
there's a lot of smog.
A lot of smog, okay. I almost was thinking you were going to say there's a lot of smiling. There's a lot of people smiling too. But I also see a lot of people with a look of difficulty on their face. They're having a hard time. What do you think about, for example, you were at the mall. Is it big?
Yeah,
It's big. What do you think about the traffic?
it was pretty bad. It was supposed to take like 10 minutes to get home, and it took like an hour and a half.
Exactly. Sometimes I've gotten out and walked, and I said, I'll meet you there with my, you know, they have my things. I said, I'm going to walk home. I'll be there when you get there, and, you know, the driver will be there an hour later, and it took me 5 minutes to walk there. It's just that way. You're right. Okay, Lily, give the microphone to her. She, I'm sure, has lots of things to say. Now, can I ask you, did you lose a tooth while you're here in the Philippines?
Yes.
She lost 2.
How many? 2?
Yeah, 2.
Okay. Are you getting her on the camera okay? Lily is, how old are you? You're
5.
5 years old. She, put the camera over here a little bit too. She has perfect English. She's like, you know, she's an example of this. We have in California Cal 5, and a very dear friend of mine, Danny Vera, just passed away unexpectedly. Really, I'm still in a state of shock, but his sister is the president of Cal 5. It's interesting because in Ellen White's writings, we learn that the character is developed around 5 years old, 6, 7, 8. You know, you've read some of that stuff. This organization, nonprofit organization, has actually proven scientifically through, like one of them is Stanford, that that's true. I mean, they didn't know about Ellen White. It just started this program to where before they're 5 years old, they have educational things and training and brochures and things like that to show how their atmosphere, their surrounding, that their brain is 80% developed by the age of 5. And I think she's an example of that. She's like a little grown lady. Very intelligent. Could you just someone turn the speaker around a little bit? because it's so close. It's squealing there. Can you just turn that? Luke, you can do that. Just turn it so it doesn't point right at us. Yeah, that speaker just pointed. Okay, back over here. So, Ferds here.
Yes.
You're in the program. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You're in part of the program here, and we get. Thank you, Lily. Thank you very much for that. Did you want to say anything else? Okay, let's let Lily say something else here. Tell us what your opinion and thought of the Philippines is.
Well, it's very nice and I like it here.
See what I say? See what I mean? Very intelligent and articulate. Well,
And the beach.
and the beach, and you will be seeing the beach. Oh, you did see the sea out by
Yes.
the Mall of Asia, but that's
Yes.
not going to be the beautiful beach. I mean, you're going to see a beautiful beach in Palawan,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay, so back over to you, Ferds,
Yes.
and I'm going to hand the microphone to Seth. I kind of want for Filipino people, they wonder, oh, there's missionaries, what are they doing? Well, they're going to Brooks Point, Palawan, you know that. They're here learning Tagalog, you know that. Can you explain that in Tagalog?
Regarding their...
Nanay, tati, dalawa taho dito ng marunong Tagalog, di ba?
Yes. Oo.
Say that more eloquently.
Okay, mga kaibigan, itong mga bisita natin dito ay marunong sila magsalita ng Tagalog. They're learning Tagalog. Nag-aaral sila ng wikang
Yes.
Filipino.
But I'm interested, and we'll kind of close and wrap it up here and let them share some thoughts, and Mrs. here, what actually are they doing? You know, missionaries, as I was sharing here in my talk, I was saying to be a missionary, you know, to be involved in ministry, you go to the foot of the cross, you submit your will, your wishes, everything to Christ, and then we're told to go and share with others what Jesus did for us. If we do that, we are automatically involved in ministry. We are a missionary. So humbling ourselves, basically submitting our will and our wishes to Christ, and then sharing what He's done for us. And that really touches people when you start sharing what Jesus has done for you in your life. But there are some tasks. We can be a builder and be a missionary. We can go and build churches. We can be a nurse. We can be a doctor. We can be a dentist. We could be a pilot. You know, we could be a lot of those things. But so I'm going to have Seth tell us what actually he's doing there. You might be a scientist. I mean, I know what you are, but he's going to tell us in a minute. And then Ferds is going to translate that into Tagalog. Okay, no offense for the Filipino people watching. I know that you understand English. But down in the province, there are a few people there that don't. And I just want to make sure it's understood. And also, I'm trying to do Tagalog programs, and that's what Ferds is here for, is I'm trying to get some Filipino audience, some Filipinos, so they understand, because there sometimes is a lack of understanding as to really what we're doing. And they always say, so what's your purpose here? And I try to explain it. And it's very helpful when it's in Tagalog. Okay, so explain to us what's your profession and what you're doing here. And we know you're with AFM, Adventist Frontier Mission, but what is going to be the basic tasks of you and your family there in Palawan?
Okay. Yeah, so I love Matthew 24:14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So that's our prayer and desire, that everybody here, and that we can go home to heaven with Jesus. So we're excited that God's called us down to Palawan. There's some, native peoples that live there, where there's...
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah, translate a little bit.
Yeah. Sinasabi ni Seth dito, mga kaibigan, na ayon sa Biblia, sinasabi na ipangaral ang mabuting pabalita. Kaya nandito sila sa Pilipinas, napili nila ang Palawan para maglingkod sa mga kababayan natin ron.
I know when I've been visiting hospitals and talking with the local people, it is a boost to their immune system and a boost to their general state of being when an American missionary comes by and prays with them and talks with them. A nurse you know, I haven't been in the hospital. I don't go to hospitals. I try my best to stay out of hospitals for my own sake, but to be there to minister to other people is why I'm there. And I can't imagine to be in a hospital how, you know, depending on what your condition is and if you're dying, you know, how you can feel very, very sad and in the state of despair. So there's definitely a work for an American. Filipinos really, and I hope I can say this, that they tend to like Americans.
Mataas ang tingin ng mga Filipinos sa mga foreigner na katulad ng Amerikano.
I don't know, some people say it's because Americans liberated their country in the war or something like that. Not every country, I mean, you don't want to say, I'm an American in certain countries. They could kill you. But the Filipinos love Americans, and they're very grateful when an American comes and talks to them.
Because first of all, maybe the personality of the American people, the structure of faces, the beautiful faces, and also the height and the complexion of the people. That's why Filipinos look up foreigners, not only for American, but also other foreign people.
I want to say this for Filipinos watching. It's always, and on the island, and my wife has seen this, and we've witnessed it together. Filipinos love Americans, okay? And immediately, they don't judge you. They reach out to you to get to know you. I mean, they're trying to find an opportunity, and if you speak to them, they're ready to go. You know, they're ready to talk to you. We have seen Americans here in the Philippines. They were not here as missionaries. And so the Filipinos are really excited. They reach out to talk to them. And then the American starts talking negative about the Philippines or the Filipinos, or really saying hurtful things. This is a class of Americans that are here for party life, basically. They drink, they smoke, they do things that are unhealthy. They're here for women or men, or basically the people, and to, I don't know, exploit or whatever you want to call it, and they're not here for the right reasons. And it always breaks my heart, and I always have to go in and try to mop up and clean up the, you know, the hurt feelings, because my wife has seen that happen over and over. And it's 3 of our foreigner close friends, you know, they're foreigners, and so I try to, at first I didn't know if I should talk to them, but eventually you make friends, and we're a totally different lifestyle. I know they're not there as a missionary. They ended up, since I left, they died. But if you understand what they were doing and how they were treating the local people, I'm surprised they lived even a few days. You know, and the fact that they had lived there, some of them 30 years without getting killed, was miraculous to me. So sometimes things happen in this country where a person dies, and it can be an American, but in my experiences, when I know all the facts, I feel very bad when foreigners come here and hurt people. And it's great, I think, that Filipinos don't judge the American, but they do tend to step away once they get hurt from that. So anyway, I want to ask Seth a few more questions. We're not at a 5-minute. Okay, I want to keep it around 30 minutes or so. Continue with that, and then he's going to do Tagalog, and continue, wrap this up. We got about 5 minutes left. Just tell us what you're doing. Maybe your wife can share a little bit, and just share what your expectation, your excitement is, or your goals, and whatever you want on your heart.
So we're excited to share with the native peoples there. We get to join the Georges. Kent and Leonda George have been there over 20 years, and there's several others working with them. But the goal is to plant churches there in the mountains of Palawan.
Ayan, ang sinasabi niya rito mga kaibigan na gusto nila maglingkod sa mga taga-Palawan, lalo na yung mga native doon, yung mga taong nakatira sa remote areas At ang plano nila ay magtayo ng iba't ibang simbahan, churches, church planting.
So I don't know if I was over at IS not too long back talking with Wendy's dad, who is president of IS, and you know Wendy Harris. They were way up in the mountains of Palawan. And I don't know exactly the location, but are you going to be in really you're Brooks Point, but are you going to be going out into remote areas in that area?
They want us stationed in Brooks Point, but you know the target people is those in the mountains. So a lot of times we'll be anticipate being back and forth.
Okay. So sinasabi ni Seth dito ay sa city naman sila, pero ang target na lang lugar talaga puntahan ay yung mga tao sa upland, yung mga nakatira talaga sa bundok, or yun talagang trabaho ng missionary, abutin yung mga tao na malayo sa kabihasnan.
Alright, so maybe your wife can share something real quick?
I'm just really excited about getting to know the people there and just sharing with them, and you know, like AFM, they've taught us a lot that our job is to become one with the people, you know, learn their language, learn their culture, and just be one with them so that we can really share our heart to their heart of God. And so I'm very excited about that. And
wow, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. I'm always on the side with the camera. I'm not really good at this. This is not my expertise. This is a new experience. This is great though to be here. I'm trying my best. Let's see if the children would like to say. Would you like to say something again? Okay, hand the microphone over to Lily.
what do you want to?
Here. Let me just unplug this microphone here. Okay, this speaker right here. It'll be fine. There we go. I want to get a video of her like this. Can you do that? Can you come over here, sweetheart, and get a video on there in front? Okay, go ahead and share with us. Share with us what you think.
I think that it's really a blessing to see the people and make friends with them, and that I can be with them and have fun and do a lot with them.
Awesome.
And Jesus is the best person in the world. You can pray to him or do anything for him. He's good to you. He prays, and Jesus loves you. He's prepared a mansion for you in heaven.
Amen. That is beautiful. Okay, now Luke.
Well, I like it here in the Philippines, and I know we're going to Palawan, and I think it's going to be pretty nice there. I have something else to say. And we're having a pretty good time at his house, and yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure when I was there I did go to the George's house. I met them, but it's been so long ago that but I'm almost positive. So ask them if they remember me or know me, okay, when you're there, and we'll keep in touch with you, and I'll go there. So it's okay. Come on over here and sit down. We're coming to an end here with this program. As you can tell, okay, go ahead. Grab this microphone. There, this one. One of the things that I am known for is I'm not really professional.